Well, what's that feeling? Could it be Friday, or is it another episode of Two Men No Hope? I don't know. I'm pretty itchy. It might be because I haven't showered yet. But anyway, how's it going, Jamie?
It's Friday night, Saturday, Sunday.
I stupidly, before you answer your question, watched that Wham documentary today.
Wham?
Yeah, so Netflix brought out a Wham documentary. You know, George Michael and Andrew.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I've been singing Club Tropicana all day.
Is it a good documentary? I can't imagine.
Oh, the drinks are free. Yeah, it was really good. I don't understand. Netflix have like the best documentaries, and when you watch this, it's all spoken. Andrew and George Michael speak over the top of it.
Yeah,
but it's almost like they're speaking like they've done it just now. It almost makes you forget that George Michael. Spoiler: George Michael's not alive. Because obviously Andrew still is. But you're watching it, and like the things they're saying are exactly like what's going on the screen and everything like that. And they've got footage as if it feels like they were there recording it like yesterday. Like
maybe they were making the doc when he died, and Netflix finished it off.
It could have been like old interviews and things like that. They've just made the sound of him, but it could be AI. Who fucking knows, man?
Yeah, nowadays.
Yeah, but no, it's quality. Yeah, it was really, really good. Because obviously, no one knew he was gay or anything like that, so he mentions that in it.
Which, looking back on it, is fucking insane that no one knew he was gay.
It's insane they didn't think both of them were gay. But Andrew was like a mad shagger.
Was he?
Yeah.
I suppose the 80s was a strange fucking time, man.
The papers were calling him like Randy Andy and stuff like that, because he was just banging everything.
Fuck me.
And then there's old George Michael just in the studio because he couldn't fucking bang anything. Well, no, he was bisexual. I think he had like a couple girlfriends or something. But no, it's well worth a watch. Obviously, if you like the music, because it's very heavily music based. But you know, it's only an hour and a half, and the music's pretty fucking solid.
Yeah, it might be might watch it with Charlotte. Not really my he weren't really my cup of tea, but some of his songs were like classics. So
it's one of those bands which is weird. Like I don't know how it even worked. Like it only lasted something like 4 years, and they were goal orientated. So they were like, oh, we want number ones. They got them. Then they wanted to smash America. Then they wanted to smash this, smash that, and they did all of it. And once they got to the end, they were like, well, that's about it then.
Yeah, 'cause someone on the outside, I only know Club Tropicana and the Christmas song, and that's it.
Oh, no, when you watch it, you'll be like singing some of them...
Some of them you don't know. That you know.
Sleepless Whisper was his first solo one, but they both actually wrote it together.
Right.
So, yeah, no, it's really weird. And then, obviously, like, Andrew was like, I don't really want to be in fame anymore. So he let him write all his songs. And so it was all really... No one was pissed off with each other. They didn't break up because they hated each other or anything else. It was just sort of like, well, we've done everything we wanted to. And he wants to go off and do his solo, and I don't really want to be in the spotlight anymore. And they just fucking went ways. You know what I mean?
Pretty much unheard of.
Like the Beatles or anything like that.
Yeah. Just give me a sec. He's blowing my nose.
Oh, mate, I've been fucking wasting paper today. It just keeps coming out. Like I could have blown it from my nose to the floor.
Oh, man. When you were sitting there talking, I was like, I'm going to sneeze.
I'm pretty sure I did that at work, and it may have gone over the fucking wall.
Oh, that's disgusting.
Who gives a fuck? Everything's on the timer now. I can't do nothing about it.
Right.
Yeah, so before I interrupted you with my excitement for Wham, How
That
are you
was our
doing?
first sidebar of the episode.
I was literally listening to it, waiting for you to come on. Actually, before I'm going to cut you off again, before you do anything, I was thinking. So, Sleepless Whisper that he released, he actually released it as a solo song over here, but because no one really knew Wham in America, they released it as Wham presenting George Michael Sleepless Whisper. In the first Deadpool movie, when he's got cancer, spoiler again, Deadpool has cancer, and he's leaving her, and she's like, "You can't go," and he's like, something about at a window, I'm gonna sing you Wham's Sleepless Whisper
See, I'm gonna have to.
to your window, and now that I've watched that, I'm like, that's incorrect now. That's an American reference that doesn't make sense.
There's too much of a connection.
I have 9 hours or 10 hours at work in my own head. This is what happens.
This is what's going on in your head.
Yeah, this is what's happening. If it's not interviews on fucking Graham Norton, because we're so amazingly famous and popular, I'm figuring out plot holes in films.
Fucking hell. But yeah, I've been alright. I've been pretty like busy with work, but not busy socially, if you get what I mean. So it's been a little slog. I was cheered up today from a listener that sent me a piece of gold, Dan, that I'm going to play to you, which I think is absolutely hilarious, and I think will win me arguments.
You're getting secret messages from the listeners.
I am getting well. It's a listener that you know messages, but he messaged me.
Oh, before you do that then, and I feel like it's going one way, I want the listeners to know something else. So last week, I was having it. No, it was actually waking up. It was like 5 o'clock in the morning. I'm groggy as fuck, and we have a very good listener that we talk to as a little group. And I woke up and the message said, "I'm siding with Dan. Argus is an easier way of saying Argus. Fuck how it's actually pronounced." Yeah.
That's 1 person out of 100, Dan. 1 person out of 100.
Do you know what the worst thing you can do to a stubborn man? Agree with him. Because now I'm never going to let it go. Ever.
Wow.
That's it. Set in stone.
You're about to hear...
Dude,
some
I
bullshit.
literally said it both ways like 5 times and you're 100% right. So much less of a lump in your throat. Faster as well. I got your back as always, bud.
Yeah, he's just looking to side up against me.
He knows exactly how it is.
That's what it is.
I'll
Right,
tell
so
you.
this listener graced me with this probably about 8 a.m. this morning when I was proper pissed off about something at work. So
If it's a recording of him or her saying Argus, I'm going back to bed.
this might put you back to bed
I think it
anyway.
is, isn't it?
To guarantee a great Christmas, Argos it. Just check and reserve online and pick up all your presents that same day from over 750 stores. We believe there's a better way to shop online. Argos it.
Where on planet Earth are you? I'm on my way and I just got a terrific nose trimmer for your Aunt Gloria.
We believe there's a better way to shop online. Argos it.
New Argos catalogue, take 1.
That sounded like they said Argus.
New Christmas catalogue. Wrap up a great value Christmas at Argos. If you want all the choice with the whole traipsing around.
I'm hearing Argus.
Place like home. The new Argos catalogue has all of the
There was
choice
again,
with
Argus.
and it's out now. Don't shop for it. Argos it.
Argus.
Nothing.
There's more to Argos.
That was very distinctive, Argos. There was a couple Arguses in there.
No, there wasn't.
There was.
You're like Dan.
Right at the
you
beginning.
are
Right at the
being
beginning, there was an
absolutely
Argus.
berated online.
I'm
All of
not.
the emails coming
I'm not.
in are saying you're wrong. Argus is not how it is said.
It is.
It's not easier. No one backs you up.
It is.
1 or 2 maybe.
It is
That's
easier.
about it. Someone took their time to send that to me, and I
hope
appreciate that.
When you say that out loud, and you're in a rush in Argos, and you go, and you're on the phone. You're like, I've just run into Argus, and you're like, fuck, and your nuts like shrink up into your body because you feel Dan behind you.
Never
down
in
your
my
neck.
life have I been in a rush to go to Argos. And if I was to be in a rush to go to fucking Argos, I'll be wondering what's wrong with my life. In fact, I don't even know where my closest one is. There must be one in Hemel somewhere, but I thought they were on the verge of closing down.
Well, like I said to before, they teamed up with Sainsbury's, didn't they? So they're in the stores in Sainsbury's. So they're probably doing a little like saving grace.
But thank you
Yeah.
to the listener for sending that in. That cheered me up at 8 o'clock this morning.
My my messages were better, and they were earlier.
Someone took time to cut that up, which just makes me laugh. Absolutely brilliant.
That's okay. I don't admit defeat. Like I said, one person said they agree with me, and that's all I need. Didn't even have to be a real person. It could have been a made up person. It still would have fed my ego. I was really fucking sick over the weekend.
All right.
So I went to the cinema, which is another thing I'll go back to.
Your immune system's not doing too well, is it, at the minute? You've been ill a few times recently.
It's more probably because I work really stupidly long hours. I don't eat right, and I don't drink enough water. So 2 of those are my fault. Anyway, no, this was because one of the management on Thursday came in with a fucking massive cold, and I spoke to him for like 5 minutes, and the next day I was fucked. But yeah, I went to the cinema, and I was coming home, and I had to drop my brother's mate off because he lives near me,
Right.
and we're driving back down the dual carriageway, and I'm like, I need to go to the toilet.
Fuck
And
me.
I'm like holding it in, not saying anything. I'm just sitting there in silence because talking makes me want to shit more. And
Was
then
it
I'm
just
like,
you and him in the car?
no, and Sabina. And I was like,
I was about to
I'm
say,
sorry.
all of a sudden you went mute.
Yeah.
Thinking what's going on.
I was like, I'm sorry, man. Like, I've got to run home for 5 minutes. Because they all knew that I wasn't feeling well. And so we parked up, and where I park isn't directly out front of my house. So I pull up to the side of the road. I basically just curb it because I'm like in agony. And I've got like a minute or two walk from the car to my house, which I'm running. But I'm also farting the whole way I'm going from the car to my house. And I fully, by this point, accepted that I may have to stand in my garden and just shit myself. That's how fucking close I was. So I was like, oh, okay. But I made it. Sorry, I made it. And I dropped him off, and I wasn't fine, but everything was okay. Then the next day, I'm thinking to myself, oh, I'm been on the medicine. I seem to be okay. Sabina's had a barbecue sort of booked for us to go to for like weeks.
Right.
And she's like, oh, we don't have to go. And I'm like, no, it's fine. Because everyone's excited to see her. They haven't seen her in ages, and I don't want to be the reason she hasn't gone. So I'm fine all day. And we get into the car and we go towards the barbecue. Halfway there, I'm just fucking sweating. Got the air conditioning on for no reason.
Maybe it's a bit of anxiety as well, then, maybe.
And I was like, she was like, if your stomach's too bad, let me know and we'll leave. And I'm like, my stomach's too bad. So I got there, and then I couldn't eat any food. And 10 minutes in, I'm like, I've got to go use the toilet. So I had to run upstairs and do one of those, like, sat down, just like, boom. Got out, I had to, like, go through the cupboards to find a fucking spray to
Oh, like
mask the
trying
smell.
to like fucking get it in there and out.
Yeah,
you
so
can
no
fucking-
one
yeah.
knew that I was in there doing something I shouldn't.
They know now, Dan. They know now.
Oh yeah, because then they let me know that they listen to the podcast, and I've said some horrendous things on there.
To be fair, Sabina listens as well, so it's not like it's going to be a surprise to her.
No, and she's the one that told them to listen. But no, it's okay. I've been accepted though, because they call her what do they call her? Breenie or something? I don't know. It threw me off at first. And one of the kids called me Dino or Dino. So it was Brina and Dino.
There
I'm
you
like,
go.
fair
That's your
enough.
name now.
Yeah, I was like, short for dinosaur. I was like, I'll take it. So I've been accepted. But no, everyone was really nice. And so it was good. We were there for a couple of hours. and it was good, even though I felt like crap.
It's good that you powered through and went, because like I would have just said to Charlotte, "Oh, you're gonna have to go without me" or something, and then I'd be pissed off at myself when she'd gone. So it's good that you powered through and went.
Yeah. No, she had told me a while ago about it, so I knew. And that, if fucking Keith hadn't come and given me it made me sick, I would have been okay. So I was like, no, I'm gonna. But fucking hell, 2 close calls in one fucking weekend.
Yeah, it can happen, mate. It can happen.
But I saw Barbie on Friday, like a fucking family outing. We had to take 2 cars.
you like, went in convoy to watch fucking Barbie.
Yeah. Fucking mental, isn't it?
Yeah, it is mental. Was it good?
But it was alright. It's
Without giving it away, because I can't imagine what the fucking storyline is. What is the storyline?
in a very dumbed version down. The storyline basically is that Barbie and Ken go to the real world for certain circumstances, but Ken realizes that men rule the world in the real world, so he changes Barbie land into like a man's domain, and she has to turn it back.
Oh, so he almost becomes like a dictator.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, everyone on the internet's fucking slating it and stuff like that. It doesn't know what it wants to be for a start. It's not a kids' film at all.
Well, from people that I've spoke to about it, they've said that like you go in there expecting it to be shit. They come out and it's good. But would it be as good if it wasn't so highly publicised? Because that and Oppenheimer has been like the 2 highest publicised films in a long time, because obviously they're the last chance for cinema. It's like they're saying that the only thing that's keeping cinemas open at the minute is the superhero shit. So if the normal films can't pull it off anymore, pull off the big box office turnarounds, then they don't know what to do. And I was like, well, they both come out on the same day, so they just got coupled together.
Yeah. No, Barbie's it's a very political movie. It's from the views of the
I hate
woman.
it when they go down that route.
Yeah, I was fully expecting it to be like, women are great, which isn't my fucking. If I know I'm going to see a film like that, it doesn't bother me. But after like the first hour, maybe hour and 10 minutes, I started to feel like abused.
Oh, really?
Like every turn and every corner, it was like, men shouldn't be doing this, women should be doing this, men should be doing this, and I'm like, out of like me and like, I find that me and you are sort of like, that's why we do the podcast, right? We're not. I think everyone should be equal.
Yeah, we're
People
not like chauvinists.
No. So I went there, and then there was this big monologue about how women are expected to be mums but not work in the real world. They're expected to be happy and not depressed. They're expected to be happy, and they're not supposed to like put men down. And like, it was just a very sort of like 30-year-old ideology of like what a woman should be to a man. And that really offended me, because I was like, yeah, but we feel that way, but we're not allowed to talk about it. Not trying to be like, oh, it's my way or your. But I mean, there's 2 sides, and you're just showing. And it's a film directed.
It's showing an old-fashioned side of the world.
And it's directed and written by a woman, the leading actor, a woman. And they're saying women can't be anything because men are putting them down. But I'm like, well, you're doing pretty well. And the voice and message nowadays in 2023 is that if you're not happy being a woman, be a man. Or if you're not happy being a man, be a woman. So the message is already out of date, and it's only just come out on Friday.
Dan, I had the guys at work absolutely didn't know what to do with themselves, because I told them all that they're cis males,
Fucking yeah.
And I was like, it's 2023, guys, so do you identify as a male? And they're like, yeah. I was like, are you genetically a male? Was you born genetically a male? They was like, yeah. I was like, you're a cis male then? They was like, I'm not a cis nothing. I'm not a cis. No, what the fuck is a cis? I'm not a sissy and all this stuff. I was like, no, you're a cis male. And they were like, what's that mean? And then I had to like go through the whole thing. Then I turned into like the fucking oracle of fucking knowledge, and people were coming up to me and asking me certain questions. I'm just like, I just started the conversation for a bit of controversy, and it like got out of hand.
Fucking
I had
hell,
like
you're the judge and
5
jury.
blokes standing there shouting at me, saying, "What are we supposed to do? Our kids are going to be taught by transsexuals."
It's crazy. Like I you know, what I mean, me and you both believe that if you want to be whatever you want to be, fucking, but don't
Do what you want, yeah.
yeah, but don't push it on anyone else.
That's the conversation I was having today. I was like, my thing with religion is I hate preaching. That's the same thing I have with vegans. I hate the preaching vegans when they're like preaching their lifestyle on you. Religious people preaching their lifestyle on you. Don't stop oil, standing in the streets preaching their fucking like beliefs on you, stopping you going to work. It's the same with the gender stuff and all like the sexuality stuff. If you've got people out there trying to push it on you, then I just don't like that. Just like live and let people live how they want to live, innit? It doesn't need to be arguments both sides.
The thing that's got me now, right, and I don't know if the listeners will agree with me on this, the UK and America are one of the, I would say, easiest going countries to be whatever you want to be.
Yeah.
You come out, you wanted to be vegan, they added vegan to everywhere. You want a different religion, you can have whatever building you want. You want to be a different sex, we'll change our dialogue for you, we'll change our schools, we'll change like everything. And then the Just Stop Oil, we're doing that already. But you're not going to countries that don't allow this. You're sitting in a country that has allowed it already. So what are you fighting for? Why aren't you getting on a plane and going to Turkey or going to India or Pakistan or anything like that you know, is punishable death or murder and stuff like that? Because it's safer for you to be in this country to moan to people that won't pull a knife or a gun on you than for you to fight in a country that they need you, but you might get killed. You know what I mean?
It's the definition of first world problems.
Yeah.
It is literally the definition of first world problems.
I'll get on a bus and moan about it, but I won't get on a plane and save someone's life.
Yeah.
Because I'm fighting for it, you know what I mean?
Like with the Just Stop Oil guys, I don't know whether this is happening in the US as well, but in the UK we're getting guys, well, all kinds of people, elderly people, young students, all that. They're all going out and protest, but their way of protesting is to walk into the road and stop like normal people getting into the hospital and getting to the jobs and stuff like that. They're not going to like fucking Downing Street and like to anywhere that's like a oil refinery or anything like that. They're not doing any of that.
No.
They're protesting on the streets in front of normal people. And they've done it at a few sporting events and that, which I don't really care if they do it there because they're not stopping people getting on with their day-to-day lives. But I was watching Piers Morgan arguing with these Just Stop Oil people, and he was like, "I'll pay for you to fly now to," I can't remember where he was saying, China. "I'll pay for you now. We'll all fly to Beijing, and you can." Because obviously China is the worst out of everyone for fucking pollution and stuff like that, and throwing shit in the sea. They literally shovel plastic into the sea. Yeah. And he was like, "We'll fly out then tomorrow, and you can protest there." And he was like, "Yeah, I have no problem doing that. We'll go and do that if you come with me to these countries and see where these people are dying." And he's like, "How will we get there?" He was like, "Oh, we'll fly there." He was like, "So you're okay to fly, but you protest in oil?" And I was just like, this guy can't stand the chance against someone like Piers Morgan. You just need to not go on TV and just go and fight the battles in the places they should be.
Yeah. That's what I mean. Like, I'm not suggesting that anyone should go anywhere onto any country and get themselves killed. That's not what I'm saying.
No.
But I'm saying, like, if you think, like, you're going to a university, like 30 of you, to protest a person from science saying that a man's a man and a woman's a woman, and you've got one person in another country that is struggling, shouldn't those 30 people go and help that person that you're fighting for and they want to be part of you over there?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's
That's the way it should be.
we would back you if you were doing that. That's the difference, right? Like, you're pissing everyone else off, making us change all our ways and all that sort of stuff, and we're quite happy to do it anyway, and we don't give a fuck. But if you fly over to another country trying to save people, we're back you then. You know what I mean? It'd be like, we're quite happy to, but like, fucking hell, that group over there is just flown to a country that doesn't accept them to fight for their rights. Good on them.
Yeah, it's like Australia only a few years ago legalised the marriage between men, like homosexual marriages. And like, obviously, for us to think only a couple of years ago they'd done that is mental, because obviously it's been legal over here for years.
Yeah.
The amount of protesting that happened for all that to happen, that had to happen in that fucking country. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
You can't do it. You can't protest Australia laws over here, Australian laws over here, because who the fuck's going to listen to you? No one.
Yeah, no one gives a fuck.
Yeah.
But then if they were like, you read open the paper and you were like, 1,000 LGBTQ people jumped on a plane, went over to Australia and demonstrated, you're like, oh, fucking hell, well, good on them.
Yeah, good on them.
Yeah. But no, 1,000 blah, blah, blah people are down my fucking road, stop me getting to my fucking work. I don't give a fuck what you're protesting. You could be protesting the stop of a nuclear bomb. I wouldn't give a fuck. I want to go to work. You know what I mean?
If I've
Who
got a
gives
baby
fuck?
in the back, I was watching a video where a woman's got a baby in the back, and it was a premature kid. She's taking it in for a checkup. She was worried about the kid, like only a couple of weeks old. Yeah,
Yeah,
they're stopping her from getting to the hospital,
yeah,
and she's having a freak out because obviously she's gone through all this stuff, given birth to her first child, and she's standing there screaming in the street. That's not what the whole thing should be about. It
No.
should be about everyone working together. I did like the bunch of YouTubers decided to go and prank them
yeah,
and annoy them. And when they had like a, it was called the Meat Free Banquet or something in some old church in London.
yeah.
And they decided to go in with a load of balloons, helium balloons, with rape alarms on them, which go off like really loud sirens, and then just like release them into the church. And then they had to they were so high up in the air that they couldn't turn them off.
It's fucking brilliant. And the new campaign of let's stop pissing people off. Like, as soon as I saw them circle the Just Stop Oil people, I was like, how do I fucking join? And they haven't got anything yet. It must just be a small group of people.
Yeah, so it was a YouTube channel that they didn't realise it was going to take off as much as it did, I think.
I tried to sign up as soon as I saw it. I was like, I put it into Google. I was like, stop pissing people off protest. Couldn't get nothing. I was like, fucking sign me up.
But that's the thing. Like, we're not normally a political podcast, but there has been some fucking bullshit going on in the news lately. That's just, it needs to be.
Barbie sparked it off. Yeah,
Barbie.
Like,
yeah, that started with Barbie. Jesus Christ, we went off on one.
Well, if you'd seen it, we would have been talking for longer. No, like I said, the point in the podcast is that everyone should be the way they want to be, but the fact is that, like, because of all of this, normal people's problems that we deal with don't get listened. It's not important enough, which is why I'm happy that we do this, because we don't deal with anything like that. We deal with individuals that are going through like times that they need someone to talk to.
Yeah, we're not dealing with like the big problems. We're dealing with the person to person.
And I don't want them. You know what I mean? Even if we were like massively famous and someone approaches us and was like, "Oh, would you like a Just Stop Oil person come on?" I'm like, "No, I'm not interested." And neither are the listeners interested. They come here for like to chill out for a couple of hours, listen to some idiots, and hear some people get helped. And that's what I want.
Yeah, they jump on the podcast to listen to two buffoons muddle their way through answering questions from people that can be marginally quite funny at times.
Marginally quite funny.
Well, I would class myself as a margin. I would say
you've got that.
I'm marginally a comedian.
You've got that from Charlotte, because when we were in Birmingham, we were like talking about it, and she goes, "Well, you could be funnier," and I was like, "Charlotte,
Yeah,
Come on.
Charlotte knows I'm funny as fuck. Charlotte knows. Sometimes when she's sitting there, she can't stop laughing. I'm like, see, I should be getting paid for this shit. I should be getting paid for this shit. On that, me and Charlotte were standing in Tesco.
You and fucking Tesco's, man.
Tesco's, man. Honestly, we were standing in there. I was picking up some what they called. Like, I don't even know why I'm going into that much detail. Some dog fucking food, yeah, and stuff like that. But
No, I want to know the brand and the flavour now, Jamie. You both been
pedigree, fucking in jelly, mate. Rock, I don't like gravy. In jelly.
Oh yeah, Gizmo was the same way. He hated gravy.
Yeah, I'm standing in the queue, and Charlotte's standing next to me. Yeah, and like when I'm in the shop, I just go into like I'm getting what I'm getting mode, and I'm going home because I hate like being in public with people that I just think are idiots. Yeah,
Yeah.
And then I'm standing there, and this woman comes in, and she's obviously on crack or something. Yeah, she just runs in and starts screaming like wailing like. Do you know when foxes fight?
Yeah.
It was like that scream, like it was like a really high pitched scream, and Charlotte just looked at me, and she could just see me look at the woman. She could see me side eyeing the woman, yeah.
Yeah,
And she was like, "Do not say nothing. Do not say nothing." And I just goes, "All right, calm down."
Like a proper Londoner. All right, all right.
And the woman's like, "What?" And I just goes, "There's no need for that, is there?" And then Charlotte's like, "Come on." Just like shooing me towards the fucking till. She was like, "You're looking for podcast ideas." I was like, "No, I'm not." I said, "She's just fucking mental."
Did you find out what she was wrong with her?
Oh, she was screaming about something. One of her kids got chucked out there earlier in the day.
Oh, for God's sake!
And,
Yeah, probably because he's a little fucking prick.
Yeah, because she's on crack, so he's probably like dragged up. He's probably living on Rustler's burgers or something. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, mate, don't. My brother eats them all the time. Yeah, because that guy I give a lift to in the morning, he's got a small co-op in his like that little village that I pick him up in.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And there's a group of kids terrorising that village. And
Really?
so like they'd been into the co-op and pissed about already. They'd gone down to for some reason there's like a co-op and there's another co-op, but it's called Greens, but it's owned by co-op.
Oh yeah, it's one of their franchises.
Yeah, so they'd been in there already to be dickheads. They'd got kicked out, gone down there, and then a customer had come in and gone, "Oh, heads up, I think they're coming back up." So in normal co-op fashion, there's only 2 workers on there because it's the evening. So the supervisor runs and locks the door just as they get there. They're fucking banging, "Let us in," and she's like, "No," and then she realizes that the back door's open. So she fucking legs it, and 2 of them get in before she gets there. So they start running around the store, fucking the place up. And there's a customer in there, and there's one woman behind the till. And the customers turn to him, and she's like, "Why are you doing this? Like, why don't you just leave him alone and go somewhere else?" So they grab a 4-pack of Iron Brew cans, and they fucking knock this woman over with it. Like,
Jesus.
fucking throw it, knock the customer over. So I was like, I hope they fucking twatted them kids. And they were like, the supervisor grabbed a bottle, knocked one around the back of their head, and then they started fucking 2 kids attacking this 40-year-old fucking woman. I was like, it's disgusting.
It is, yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's not a new thing either, because like when I was working back in the store we both worked in, do you remember? I'm not going to name her, but the woman that we knew was smoking in the fucking toilets all the time.
Yeah, couldn't prove it because you couldn't go in there.
Couldn't prove it because we couldn't go in the fucking female toilets. Me and her went and confronted a load of young lads that had robbed a load of shit out of the store. And they started a fight with me. So then I was like fending them off. And then we were making our way back towards the shop as I was like trying to, like I was fucking legging it. And so was she, back up to the shop.
Yeah.
And I turned around and then I got kicked in the stomach. And then they were like punching me as like one of the other fellas was shutting the door. One of my guys was shutting the door. And then they literally nearly knocked her out. Like they punched her straight in the face, and I was just like, mate, she was in her 50s at that time, or early 60s. They could have fucking killed her.
Yeah. But this
And
is the thing,
they
right?
didn't
Like
care
kids,
about it.
kids that yeah, but the police can't do nothing, can they? Like that's why you see kids going into like Apple stores trying to kick the phones off the counter. And if you lay a hand on them to get them out, you're the one in the fucking wrong.
I remember feeling a great sense of achievement when one of them same boys came in a few weeks later. He rode into the store on his bike. Happened a few times, yeah.
Yeah.
Gypsy kid. And he came in, and as he came round the corner, I knocked the back of his wheel, and he fucking face planted the floor.
Too fucking right, man. Fucking wankers.
And he was like, "Why'd you do that?" And I was like, "Oh, you must have slipped, mate. There's a bit of wet milk there." Fucking prick.
Fucking. It can't
I was a
mess
naughty
with
kid,
bikers,
but I
man.
never did stuff like that. Never
No.
hung around shop. I used to hang around shops, but I used to go in the shop just to buy stuff.
Yeah, then fuck off somewhere else.
Yeah.
Nah, kids are too fucking. It's because everywhere they go, like they know, they're like, oh, you can't touch it, can't do this, you can't say nothing to them. Your parents can't do nothing to you. The police can't do nothing to you.
In school, I threw a chair at a teacher. I was like, "Come on, then." Don't. I was like, "You can't touch me. You can't touch me." And that was fucking what, 2005.
Yeah,
So
It's worse than that
now,
now.
they're like, I can do what I want. They're walking like they're God.
yeah. Which I don't
It's
think it
like,
should
imagine a school of Thanoses. That's what we're dealing with.
be. It should be if you commit a crime, no matter what age you are, then you get fucked.
Yeah. Well, it
Fucking-
depends, yeah.
No,
Depending.
no, you get fucked. Jaywalk, you're fucked. You know what I mean? Litter, you're fucked, son.
I still don't even know what jaywalking is.
I'm pretty sure it means when you don't use a crossing to cross the road.
Oh, mate, I'm fucked.
Yeah, I am too.
I
Apparently,
don't even cross the road at any point, at the right point.
because I'm going to Prague to see it with like Sabina. Apparently, they're big on that. You're not allowed to jaywalk. Like you can get fined and shit for it.
Really,
Wait,
as a European country, they're really weird. Like, most European countries totally ignore the zebra crossings.
No, they
You-
apparently
like-
they're.
I got hit by a car in Paris. I got hit by a car in fucking Amsterdam. I got hit by a car in fucking Rome. All three of them countries, I go across the. Because what I tend to do, especially when I'm in a car park in like a supermarket, is I think pedestrians right away. You hit me, I'm gonna claim. Yeah.
No.
So I will go nonchalant, don't matter how fast they're going across that fucking zebra crossing. I tried that a few times in other countries. I learnt my lesson in it. Had a sore leg a few times.
I like the way you picked 3 countries there that have massive addiction problems. You got weed, you got wine, and then you got caffeine. All 3 things are good, like contribute to not stopping when they're in the car.
True. True. French drive like dickheads as well.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, because they're self-entitled.
Like honestly, I've never seen driving like it.
I mean, and it just proves it when you watch the new John Wick movie.
Oh yeah,
Because, like-
shoot up.
Yeah, there's a full shootout, people getting killed, and they're still driving around the roundabout. They've not stopped and gone, oh, hang on a minute. They're like, nah, fuck them, let's keep going.
I really upset Charlotte when I was watching that scene because it went on for so long. Didn't you think that scene went on for so long?
No, I loved it. I loved every second of it.
Every time something happened and he was doing like another move, I was like doing the Tom Hardy. Do you know when he's being the Cray twins?
Yeah.
And he was like, "I come here for a proper shootout." I kept saying that to Charlotte. And Charlotte was like, "Would you shut the fuck up?"
I love that movie.
It
I'm
is a good
annoyed
movie.
that they signed on for another movie. I thought that would be. But anyway, before we do the disclaimer, just want everyone again, because you already know it, to go vote for us on the podcast awards that are coming up in September. That's how long you've got, but we want you to do it now. So all you have to do, you have to go to the BritishPodcastAwards.com, find the section of who you want to vote for, put our name in, 2 Men No Hope. They'll send you an email just to confirm your vote. Confirm it, boom, 2 minutes, helps us, gives us a vote, and it gives us a good little buzz, and it will give you a buzz too to help us out. So really appreciate it. And obviously, give us them stars and subscribe, because you must always subscribe, because you don't want to miss out on anything. Me and Jamie are constantly doing extras, and we're constantly reading emails, and if people want stuff, we do it. So hit that subscribe, and you'll get notification anytime anything happens. I don't think there's anything else, is there?
Just one more thing. Just show the YouTube some love, guys. We've got so much followers on Spotify and all the other platforms. Just show the YouTube some love. Like, just go over there and just follow it. Like, we're not as active on there as like the rest of the stuff.
Yeah, but that's because I've lost interest in it because it's got fuck all then.
Which is easily done.
Yeah, because we're doing it for over a year and a half, and we're still getting like 2 views a fucking video.
Yeah, on YouTube. And I think, yes, the production value isn't there like other podcasts, and podcasts aren't big on YouTube. But just follow the, like, if you like the podcast, everyone's got YouTube. Just give us a little follow on the channel.
Oh, Jamie wants a little tickle. He wants a little tickle.
If I see one come from this episode, I'll be happy.
Right, enough preaching to the and begging, and we'll get on with it. Right, please remember that all opinions in the show are those of the host and should only be taken as food for thought. We are in no way telling you to do anything, etc. Everything is kept anonymous for the safety of the listeners, and no information is shared with anyone else. It does not go further than me and Jamie. If you are easily offended by people's opinions or views, then thank you for making it this far, but this is not the podcast for you. See you later. Please enjoy the rest of the show. Because if you sat through all that fucking rambling and us talking about politics, then you're good to go. It's just good to get it out every now and again, you know what I mean? You see all that stuff on the TV and the news, and you just want to, just little 10, 15 minutes of getting it off your chest.
It always makes me laugh because, like, when I come onto a podcast, I'm like, what mood are we going to be in? And I think I'm going to come in in a really upbeat, like, I'm going to be like really playing it up mood, and then we come on and then we go into like a real moany mood. I'm just like,
I don't know if it was so much. Well, I suppose it was a little bit moany.
But
I think
that's
it's
what
more
I love when I
confusion
listen
on
to
my part.
podcasts myself. I love it when people put in the words to right. So I'm hoping some of our listeners are the same.
Well, we only do it every now and again. You know what I mean?
Yeah, true.
Like I said, once you've watched it and like it's all over my TikTok, it's all over the news. It's just something that you have to get off your chest. Everyone's got opinions, isn't they? That's what this podcast is built on.
Exactly.
Right. So as a first-time listener email, hi, Monday Club is here. First-time listener, but I'm enjoying the show. You would have to bear with me. I'm catching up. But I wanted to send a question for you. Oh, Jamie, you'll like this one. I got caught masturbating by our cleaners. Jamie has mentioned on the pod how they change days and times all the time, and that's what happened to me now. They're normally days Friday morning and on Tuesday afternoon. Oh, no, sorry. I've read that too quickly. Their normal days Friday morning, and on Tuesday afternoon, I was having a grand old time in our bedroom with it playing on the TV too. And little did I know, once I was finished, I showered and came out of the bedroom to discover my cleaners were in.
Oh,
She seemed
God.
awkward. What do I do at this point? Insane. I don't know if she heard the full show or if she thought I was just showering. It's such a situation. I can't explain to the missus why it's weird. I'm in some real gravy, boys. So he's already said to his missus about it.
Yeah, well, some couples are quite open about masturbation, aren't they, I suppose.
Well, I think it's more the fact that he's like, if I don't tell her and the cleaners tell him, like, maybe the missus is going to think that I was trying to give the cleaners a show in general.
Can you imagine that message from the cleaner? Oh, by the way, I caught your husband wanking away to...
It'd be more of like,
Two
I'm
men
quitting.
no
I'm that just sends in like I can't work for you anymore because I can't deal with your. He has a problem. He's bashing it all over the house. I just can't handle it. What room is he going to be in?
How am I supposed to clean a room with sticky walls?
Everything's stiff. I can't bend any of the sheets.
I thought it was starch at first.
I wasn't trained for this.
That is a fucking... Oh, mate. If that was me, I would have to end the contract with the cleaners. Like, honestly, I don't think there's any going back for me. If that was me, I would have to go and find new cleaners because I'd be that embarrassed. I'm already that embarrassed that I left lube out for some cleaners, let alone if they caught me in the act. If I walked out, like, cock in hand, nearly.
Fuck that.
Ugh.
It's going to sound really like ignorant, but they're getting paid. They're not coming around my house to clean voluntarily. I can do it's my house. I've paid them to come into my house and clean. If I'm bashing it away in my own property, fuck them. They're lucky they got the show if they saw it.
Yeah,
Or
but
heard
damn, I find, like, I'm so awkward when, like, they're in the house in general. I'm so bad when they're in the house in general. I need to be out of the house.
Yeah, I would be too because you're asking you're sitting there not cleaning your own house, so
Well,
someone else
yeah.
can come and clean it.
One time I was editing the podcast while they were doing it in this room, and me, Rocco, because obviously Rocco's triggered by every fucking equipment that they've got, all the equipment they've got, so he's in here with me as well. And I was like on a super hangover, and I was like sitting here editing, and then I just thought, oh, I'll just have a quick lay down for a bit, and then I snored, like must have snored the house down, and I was locked in this bedroom, and I woke up, it was dark. I was like, fuck. They've been and gone hours ago. And then Charlotte was like, you fell asleep, didn't you? And I was like, how do you know? She was like, oh, they said that you were quite loud in there, so they left you to it.
Fucking hell. See, that's probably what's happening here. Like, no one wants to admit. You know what I mean?
Oh, mate.
I would just leave it. On a better note, like that's a pretty good category on Pornhub. Like
That's
that.
a good category.
Yeah, like like you're in a hotel, and the maids come, and she's like,
You can always
"Oh,
tell
do you
when
want a
they're
hand?"
when they're overly staged, though, with it.
Oh yeah, well obviously though, because otherwise it would be
Sexual assault.
yeah. But the fantasy's there nonetheless. You know what I mean?
But no, I like, if you're anything like me, I understand your pain. I don't think I would be able to see them come back. If I did, I would literally have to be at the house every time they came.
No. They're employees.
But they should have come on the first thing is they shouldn't have come on the day that they wasn't agreed with.
And they should have let you know as well.
It does happen with me where sometimes they maybe if they don't make us on that day because we're always on the end of their route. But they tell Charlotte.
Yeah, I'm gonna
And I'll be like, and then Charlotte agrees something. I'll be like, well, I don't want them to come then. Do you know what I mean?
because that's my time. That's my oils and candles time, Charlotte.
She's like, what are you doing in the house that's so important that you can't have the house cleaned? I'm like, all right.
Wouldn't you like to know?
I'm a busy man, Charlotte.
Look, I'm going to make enough masturbation jokes. Yeah, you got two options there. Like I said, you're paying them to be there. I mean, what does it matter? What does it matter? It's your house. It's like if I walk around naked and you look through my window and you're insulted. Well, that's not my fucking problem. You shouldn't have been looking in my window. It's my house.
True.
And you're lucky you got that show for free.
Maybe think about starting the OnlyFans.
But you know what I mean? Like you've chosen to look in my window. That's not me that's done that. So that's your fault for getting a look at me. They've changed their day. You've paid them to come on a different day and they haven't let you know. Then whose fault is that?
That's very true. I would confirm it with your missus before making any
Aggressive
judgments.
judgment.
Or that they've changed the day and not told her.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't go off saying that's their fault and then she's like,
straight away.
but they let me know. You let me know, yeah.
Because that would be my case. I'd be like, Charlotte, like, how am I supposed to know they were going to come? And she'd be like, I told you last week. And then I'll be like, okay. My own fault for being fucking
my
problem in my own house.
My problem would be I'm very English, so like even when I do, I have the sound down so my neighbours don't get annoyed because I'm very considerate that way.
Sometimes I've got full blown surround sound going on.
Nah, I couldn't handle that. It doesn't make it feels less like it's for me and more for like the outdoors then. Like I'm doing something for them. Yeah, like I would forget and I'd get myself in the mood and then I'd get a notification on my phone from the camera of like the cleaner walking down the garden. I'd be like, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit.
And you start punching down your erection to try and get it fucking in your
No,
trousers.
you try and finish before she gets to the door.
Oh, you got to try and danger wank it. Jesus Christ.
Full knowing full well that they've got keys to get into the house as well. But yeah, let us know how it goes. Hope it's probably all blown over by now. I can't imagine it was that. It's just a little bit of unease. Just be out of the house next time.
Be out of
Not
the house
saying you should be masturbating in the car or anything. I'm just being be out of the house when the cleaners turn up.
Yeah.
Right. So this listener says, all right, my generals. I was hit by a car last week, but don't worry, it's nothing serious, just a hairline fracture. But I've had to take 6 weeks off of work. First time since I was 15 I haven't worked. I'm 4 days in and I've wanked myself silly while the missus is out. What now? Any game suggestions, films or TV shows? And then he's got a story afterwards. Sorry to hear you got hit by a car. Yeah, shit happens. And I'll say that because you're okay. Look both ways. No, that's fucked up. Hopefully you recover quickly. I know what it's like. I don't take longer than a week off work because I get bored out my fucking tits.
Could easily fall into a fucking steep of depression as well, so
Yeah.
it's better to stay busy.
If you're in the UK, Discovery Plus is the best fucking $3.99 you'll ever fucking spend. If you like reality stuff, because I'd spend my life on that. They've now got 90 Day Fiancé UK edition series 2. It's mad. Proper mad.
I've been looking at watching that because I've seen some trailers to it.
Yeah. Have you seen the guy with the big hair? So, for the listeners, there's a woman, she's like 40, and she's going to Colombia to marry, like, 24 or
He's
something.
like, I love you, cheeky.
Yeah, so he can't speak any English, but he made her a song. So there's only two things he can say is "I love you, chicken," which is the chorus of the song, and "It's okay, it's okay, it's okay," and then he goes "Ah," because he's got a terrible laugh. So she's like going to him. I heard I got a message from someone that you slept with prostitutes. Is that right? And he's just looking at her and goes, "It's okay, it's okay." She's like, use your phone because I can't understand what you're saying. And then he messaged her on the phone, it's fucking mental. Seriously, it's honestly.
And then they get married, like in this fucking.
Registry
it looks just
office.
like a council office.
Yeah,
Like there's people at other tables getting married at the same time.
I feel really bad for her because like she's like, yeah,
She was
we're married.
expecting a ceremony and shit.
Yeah, and she's like, oh, it's okay because the after party's gonna be great because Colombians are known for their parties. So they go back to the hotel, and he's basically taking her down to the basement where there's like 6 people of his family.
Fucking hell.
It's that was I haven't seen that was episode 3 that bit was in,
That was a green card, if anything.
but it's fucking. Well, her son is like 2 years younger than him or something.
Jesus.
Yeah, it's absolutely
I
fucking
love you,
crazy.
cheeky.
I love. Yeah, I say that to Sabina all the time now, and she just goes, "It's okay, it's okay." Yeah, so if you like reality TV and stuff like that, or like the archaeology, like the gold diggers and the Atlantic drivers, truck drivers, and all that, that's all on Discovery Plus. It's fucking. I've never cancelled that. $3.99 a month. Never cancelled it. It's fucking brilliant.
Is it still got Gas Monkey Garage on there as well?
It's got loads of cast. I think
Fast
it has.
and Loud.
I got all the food stuff on there. Yeah, it's so good. So good. It's not in any other countries. I tried to use it in Canada when I visited Jim. So as far as I know, it's only in the UK. Gaming suggestions. The new Star Wars is a banger.
Dying Light was good. If you haven't played Dying Light 2, that was a good game to play.
I thought 1 was better.
1 was better, yeah, but for new games that have come out. like, it depends if you're into basketball. I'm a massive 2K fanatic. Like, I literally, any free time I get, I play it. So, that's definitely a game to play. When it comes to TV shows, I'm watching quite a lot of Apple TV shows at the minute. I'm watching The Crowded Room, which has got Tom Holland in it, which is brilliant.
Oh, I've seen the trailers for that.
Yeah, it's really like, imagine because I thought I'm gonna go into this thinking I'm gonna see Tom Holland being little Peter Parker. How is he gonna play someone that's mentally deranged? No, he can play someone that's mentally deranged. He's a very good
he
actor.
said that it took
Much
a lot
better
on
actor
him
than I thought.
because he's constantly saying I need a break, and he's like, oh, I'm going to take a break. But yeah, no, he was like, it messed him up a bit doing that.
Yeah, I think it made him realise. I was watching interviews with him after it, and like, he's gone sober and stuff recently in the last year because of the filming of that and stuff. So there's that. There's Silo that's on there at the minute. Foundation's come back for season 2. Foundation was a good show, like a good sci-fi show. And there's Idris Elba Hijack, which
I don't
I've
know how you
mentioned before
commit
in the
to
show.
all these, man.
Huh?
Like, that's why I don't know how you commit to all these, because that's why I watch reality stuff, because there's no storyline, so I can jump in and out. But
Yeah,
like
but
with work,
with Apple, there's only like. That's why I quite like Apple, because there's only like 8 episodes a season.
yeah,
So
but Netflix do 7, but they're like an hour long.
yeah, but if you're up till 3 in the morning, Dan,
Ah, fucking hell, I
you
couldn't
do
do that.
half of it in a night.
Nah, I can't do that anymore. I've got no time. With like working full time, seeing Sabina, which I'm not. That's not a dig. Doing the
He knows
doing
she's listening.
doing podcast stuff. Yeah, just because she won't take it as a dig, but she'll wind me up about it. Doing the podcast stuff, trying to do the YouTube stuff, trying to find guests. You know what I mean? Trying to go to. I do the cinema. That's religiously. So I suppose if I weren't going to the cinema every weekend, I'd probably be able to.
Yeah,
But then as well, because Sabina likes the same stuff as me, she wants to watch everything, which I don't grudge because I quite like it. So I can't see a lot of stuff until I'm with her. Nah, I'll stick with reality stuff. Have you ever watched what the fuck is it called? Danny McBride was talking about it. It's one of the Desperate Housewives TV shows. I can't remember what I googled
Desperate
to find it.
Housewives. Fucking
Yeah.
hell.
It is called Vanderpump Rules.
No.
It's
Never heard of it.
Lisa Vanderpump from the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills opens a kitchen in Hollywood, and then as it progresses, they try and open more. But it basically looks like Jersey Shore, but they all work in this one restaurant.
Oh, really? It's a
And they'll
reality
just-
show.
Yeah, and they're all just basically banging and cheating and
It's like Below Deck, but in a restaurant.
yeah. But I haven't been able to. I think it's on. I don't know what it's on. I know I haven't
Hulu,
been able
probably.
to find
That
it.
sounds like a Hulu show.
But yeah, Danny McBride. I was listening to the podcast, and they said to him, "What does he watch?" And he was like, "I watch Vanderpump Rules," because, like I said, reality TV shows are easy because there's no real. People's lives aren't a story, are they? Really?
Yeah. Do you know reality TV? I watch it so much when I'm pissed, when I'm like proper drunk.
Yeah.
I will sit there and watch it. Like, I've watched Floribama Shore, which is like the Alabama fucking South American.
Did I start that? I can't remember.
It was absolutely brilliant. It's like it's pure carnage from start to finish. It's just drama from one episode to another, and they're all like fighting each other constantly because they're like from the South, innit? And then obviously Jersey Shore is still going, and I'm still watching it.
I can't believe that I stopped watching it because I thought it had finished. We always watch X on the Beach when I come down.
X on the Beach, I love it. Yeah, I'm watching the new series of that at the minute, which is really strange because they've really gone LGBTQ,
Yeah, of course they did.
and it like halves the house almost. If you know what I mean.
I can imagine it.
So where there was a lot of arguments between, because there were so many like men and women going for it. Now it's like half the house. And to be fair to the LGBTQ community, they stay faithful to their exes, you know. Quite a few don't fucking steer away. Where
Yeah.
the men, the red-blooded fucking males of fucking
But
Ex
that's
on
why
the
it's
beach
funny.
just cheat on everyone. They'll literally just go in and sleep with everyone.
I'm sorry, but if I had more than like, I don't know, 2 or 3 like really bad breakups, I wouldn't go on X on the beach.
No.
Like, there's no fucking way. Because it's
Some of
just,
the exes are so fucking like bad as well. Because it's like, oh, we met for 2 weeks in Ibiza. I'm like, that she was a holiday romance.
Yeah,
She
that's
was
not
not
even an ex.
fucking.
and you think, how the fuck did you even find that person? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, the producers must be brilliant on there. The only thing that annoys me with that show is that it is heavily produced. Like every 2 seconds they go, and now we'll see what's going, who's coming on the beach. I'm just like, fucking calm down,
Yeah. No, I get
leave it
that.
alone.
Yeah, with like games, I find that I just like to piss about. So like I get like the Tom Clancy games, Ghost Recons, because they just basically, here's a fucking map that you couldn't cross in like ages, and just do whatever the fuck you want. Like GTA, Far Cry's, it's
That
just
kind of free world.
yeah, just do what you want. So I could just jump in and be like, shoot some people, and then fuck off again. You know what I mean? Yeah, let us know what you decide to watch so we can talk about reality TV show again. Here's a story from being deliberate this week. I was
Being
down.
deliberate?
No, I think it says debilitated. Debilitated. I tried to quickly change the word because I couldn't figure out what it was. I was down the working men's to meet some of the boys this week, and we got boozy. Safe to say, when you're drunk, you forget you've got a broken leg. And so does your friend. So after losing a game of pool that I lost terribly, I had a play fight and possibly made my leg worse. But we shall not tell work I'd caused it by myself. Anyway, happy Monday, my 2 men. You're keeping me going through the weekly boredom. I've listened to you while rediscovering the world of Skyrim. Skyrim. Fucking love Skyrim. But that's the same thing, right? It's open world. You basically do whatever you want. Go wherever you
Yeah.
like.
I used to
That's why
love
I like
Skyrim, man.
Yeah, I said that in the email. I was like, me and you played the online for a little bit until that got tedious.
What was wrong with the online is when you've done a mission before, and like your mate hasn't, he could see all the bad guys, but you couldn't. Do you remember?
Yeah,
It
yeah,
was
yeah.
like super stupid that way. If they'd fixed that side of it, we'd probably still be playing it. To be fair,
There's just no balance in like games like that because they're still doing like DLC and that for it, but no. Yeah, hopefully you recover better. Hopefully you didn't hurt yourself extra too much, and you can get back to work. Hi, you guys have fallen into my weekly roster of shows now, and have been for some time. It took me a while to get used to some fast-talking Brits, but I think I'm part British myself now. I always forget that sometimes we can, like, because when I go on holiday and that, some people can't understand me.
do you know when I noticed it last is when we had Ben on. I thought I thought Brian and Chuck could keep up with us quite well, but when sometimes I was looking at Ben, and I could see he wasn't registering what I
Yeah.
was saying, and I was like,
Yeah.
maybe I'm speaking too fast.
Same with like when I was reading out the emails, there was quite a few times that he misheard what I was saying.
Yeah, yeah.
But that's our fault. That's not his. I have a question for the show. If you find it usable, every question is. I'm heading towards 40 now, and a sense of mortality is hitting me quicker than I expected. I always delayed a full-time relationship and kids up to this point because I thought I'd have as much fun as possible before settling down. Now at 38, it's starting to look like I'm going to struggle to find someone who still wants kids and will help domesticate me, as Jamie so kindly puts it. Have you guys dealt with that feeling of starting to be too old for the lifestyle you once was a part of? If so, how can I tackle this short of looking desperate online dating apps? I haven't been out. I can't handle being in clubs and stuff. That was a fucking. That's dead in the water. You know what I mean?
I'll be honest, I don't think clubs are a thing anymore. Not in the UK.
Oh, well, there you go. That's how out there I am. I felt that with like the whole because I still want kids and things like that. And for a few years after my ex, I was the same sort of thing. I was like, I need to do this, I need to do that. It's very much what your brother did, but he ended up finding someone just as eager as he was. Is, it was just driving me fucking mad. I want a kid, I want a wife, I want things. It's just driving me fucking bananas because you're just rejecting everyone that hasn't got the same thing. You're not enjoying dating. You're not enjoying anything.
Yeah, because it becomes more of a matching up your like life needs rather than matching with that person
Yeah.
in general.
My stepdad was always told he couldn't have kids. So he didn't have my brother until he was 40. So I don't think... I think the way we are now, ages are different, right? Like, it used to be you got married at, like, 18, which is why everyone's parents are still fucking booting around. And the same with, like, you bought your house and stuff like that. But now you can't buy a house now until you're, like, fucking 35, 40. And then most people don't get married now until that similar sort of time and have kids. So I don't think it's...
Yeah,
trying to
I
get away
agree.
from it,
I
innit?
think like my mum was 21 when she had me. To think of having a kid at 21, obviously it happens to people, but of me having me at 21, fuck knows what that kid would have been like now. Do you know what I mean? Like I was not in the right headspace. I was a weed head. I was fucking around. I was doing everything I possibly could to avoid any kind of like
Responsibility.
real like commitment in any way.
Yeah.
It was very early in mine and Charlotte's relationship when I was 21 as well. I probably was only just getting with her. So at that point I was eating chicken burgers, smoking a lot of weed, and like getting into fights in town every weekend.
Yeah.
There's no way I would have been able to have a kid at that point. And then my mum had Aaron, my youngest brother, at 30, and to think that my mum had 3 kids by the time she's my age is mental.
Yeah.
There's no way. No way.
Yeah. No, I think everyone has their own time. I think you were right because you've got it out your system, right? That's the main thing. You don't want to end up with kids early like most people do, and they're like, I haven't lived, I haven't done this, I haven't done that, because I gave it all to the children. So I think you've done it the right way. Like, it's different for a woman, right? Because a guy can have kids all the way up until he's dead. Like, his sperm don't, unless he's got funny sperm. Whereas a woman
obviously
goes...
there's more complications as years go on, but...
Yeah, but you can still do it. Who's had a kid recently? It's not De Niro, is it? Was it De Niro?
No, not De Niro, the other one.
Pacino.
Yeah, Pacino.
Yeah. So, I mean, like, so that's not a massive, like, deal. It's the woman that it gets dangerous to be pregnant and then, like, you can't get pregnant. Don't put too much pressure on it. It will happen. Yeah, I mean, I'm not, and I feel a lot better for it because I know how it feels to be constantly wanting that. I still want it, and I still know it will happen, and I know my mum wants it like now, but that's not fucking happening.
Yeah.
It's just another chapter, right?
Exactly. And like I've got a cousin, she's probably 40 now. She's had 2 kids in pretty quick succession because obviously maybe she was worried about age or whatever. But it's probably been... Yeah, she was like 39 when she had her second. She had one years ago, and he's like only just turned 18. But this is like a new relationship and stuff. And she's like got pregnant, and it happens. It still happens for people. It's not the end of the world.
Jack
You know what I mean?
Whitehall, wasn't his dad something like 45 when he had Jack?
Yeah, it would have been. Theo
Yeah, yeah.
Vaughan's dad was like 105 when Theo Vaughan was 16,
Randy,
which is
old bastard.
insane.
Yeah, so I wouldn't put too much. I mean, just you've enjoyed everything you've done. You know what I mean? And now it's just the next chapter, and you've just got to. It's not desperate. There's desperate on there. Like when you get on there and you start reading them dating profiles, you'll see desperate. But I always say don't go on the fucking dating websites. Get yourself down the clubs, man. That's what you doing. Get the old speed dating going. Fucking cancerous bloody dating apps, man. I fucking hate them now.
I do think it would be a good idea just to, as you said, don't put too much pressure on it, and do not like go into a relationship thinking this is the woman I need to have a kid with.
No, because that ruins it, doesn't it?
That puts far too much pressure on a new relationship.
Yeah.
I don't think it's healthy.
As long as you know that partner is interested in having kids, that's all that matters.
Yeah.
I tell you right now, man. If we ever take off and we start rolling it in, I'm starting the 2 Men No Hope speed dating. That's
I'll
gonna
be
be
up for
my.
that, as long as I get paid entry fees.
That's my mission. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's all you have to pay for it and shit. But that's it. That's what I'm doing. I'm getting people off fucking dating sites. I'm getting them in the fucking pubs.
We'll like create some niche way of saying it. Like obviously by then we'll probably have a manager, and we'll be like, we have to think of a new way of saying speed dating to get people in to do it.
And that's what's happening. That's what
Face-to-face reveals.
There'd be fucking full fucking security guards. Everyone gets back there and checks, so you're not going to get killed on your way home. What's your national
You've got to turn
insurance
up
number?
with a full DBS check.
Yeah, not getting away from us, mate. Yeah, so don't worry about it, man. Hopefully, you'll meet someone. It'll be okay. You just got to let it take its course. But carry on listening. If any other things, email in. We're happy to hear from you. Right, so this is a long email. Hey, you pair of cheeky chappies. You're both hilarious, and I found you on TikTok last month, and I'm doing the best to catch up. Yeah, it's a few hours, I think, to catch up.
Definitely right now.
Here's a story for you. At school, I was a bit of a chubby kid and never got any female attention. Until the night of our results day in my final year, a girl I was friendly with got a bit tipsy and gave me a kiss. Because of my lack of attention, I got a bit overexcited, as boys do at that age, and shortly disappeared. And she texted me a few times, but I was too embarrassed to come back out once I was home. 6 or 7 years passed, and I saw this girl in a bar in the local town. Yates's? Didn't we have a Yates's?
Yeah, there was a Yatesy's down by the park.
I put every town has one. I don't know why I thought we were special. We got talking, and I had lost the puppy fat, so I was much more confident in myself. So we got a bit further than previously, but not much more happened with us after the bar and a bit of flirting. So now to bring you to the present day, I was sleeping with a guy. I'm bisexual. I wasn't a spelling mistake. For maybe 6 months last year. Just a bit of fun as we were both exploring our sexuality. Things got weird one day, though. His roommate interrupted us during an act, and it was this girl from the previous mentions. She turns out to be his half-sister and is now a lesbian, and has told me all these years that I'm the reason she is now gay. I didn't know if I was to be insulted or not. By hey ho, it's a good story. I hope you too. Sometimes it's a smaller world than you think. Has any weird connections like this ever happened in the past? Also, Jamie, I would absolutely drink your bathwater if it was permitted to. If you ever decide to change sides, let me know.
Good God.
Jamie's full on gonna get a fucking stalker from this. That is very funny when someone says to you, "You're the reason I'm gay," but I don't think they mean it in an insulting way. I think they mean it during a time when I was exploring my sexuality.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You're the reason why I finally decided that I wasn't with that sex.
Yeah.
Which is in a way saying thank you, not as a like.
Yeah, it's not a derogatory thing to say.
No, because I remember this happened to a guy in school. He used to like propose to everyone, But he did this to a woman, and back in the day, it was fucking hilarious. But now that I'm older, I think to myself, that's not what they're saying. They're not saying, "Oh, you're disgusting" or "You're useless," that I'm now gay. Or some people do. You know what I mean? But he hasn't really done anything with her. See what I mean? So that's not the case here. Having a kiss with someone and then some flirting.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's not like he's bad in bed.
Yeah, it's not like he gave a terrible performance and she's like, oh, no, I need something other than a real dick.
Yeah. No. So, yes, that is absolutely hilarious, but I wouldn't be insulted. If anything, you helped her. Like he's bisexual, right?
Yeah, that's what I was just about to say. Like, he could have decided from their interaction that he might be looking for something else as well.
Exactly. So
subconsciously, if anything.
Yeah. So it's definitely a good story and one that has a meaning in it. I would say. Other than that, no, I don't think I've ever had a "It's a Small World" moment. I don't think.
I've had plenty of "It's a Small World" moments, like with people that I work with, that are like brothers or sisters or people that I've dated or whatever.
Oh, I suppose, and yeah, like I moved to Scotland and now everyone I bump into is from like Luton.
Yeah, that's what I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
But on my stag do, I went to a certain pub that was ran by the same people that run the fucking Painters in Luton.
For fuck's sake.
And I'm like, how was that fucking possible?
Yeah.
But I have little moments like that. But I've never really had. I've never been told that I've turned a woman gay. That's one thing.
No.
I don't know whether I'd be insulted by it. I don't think I would.
It depends.
Depends in the way she said it to me. Maybe.
Yeah, if I'd like given her like the bollocks, you know what I mean? Like the bees, I've like sweating, I've got up and I've like gone to like shower and I'm in the shower and I've like, yeah, fucking, she's
like toweling yourself down.
She's like, she ain't gonna be able to walk. Like I've done the fucking, she's gonna be telling everyone about this. And then you walk in and she's like, I think I don't like dick anymore. And you're like, fucking bitch.
That'd be fucking brilliant.
Yeah, I'd be insulted then. That'd be me then. I'd be like, nah, fuck this.
That would turn me towards dick. Turn me towards dick.
I'd be like, you ungrateful fucking... Nah. Yeah, everyone's on their own journey, isn't they? It's a situation-based thing. People can be really fucking nasty. You know what I mean? Like, they can directly say to you, like, it's your dick that, like, I hate dick now because of you.
Oh, yeah. That, like, think about... There's been times that... Like, I've mentioned it on the podcast where I had that girl that decided to make out to her next boyfriend that I'd forced her to get an abortion.
Oh, mm-hmm.
And she had, like, a group of guys turn up at the fucking college waiting for me.
Yeah.
And I was like, what am I going to do? I turned up, there's a fucking mob outside.
Yeah.
Like, that is, like, real spitefulness. And I think some people can go that way. Like, there's a guy that I know that had real problems where she pretended she was pregnant for ages after they'd split up. Mm-hmm. He was like, I want to be a good dad, but I don't want to be with you. And she just was pretending the whole time. Led them on for, like, 6 months. So it can go that way. It can also go other ways where men try and manipulate women, and a lot of the time get away with it.
Yeah. No, so I would hold on to that story because that's fucking dynamite.
It is dynamite.
Yeah.
That's a proper pub story, isn't it?
Yeah. And thank you for it. Sorry we haven't got an equally impressive story to go with it, but we enjoyed it.
I feel a bit boring.
Yeah. Yeah, out of 69 episodes, I'm now feeling adequate.
We've been stumped.
Right, so here's a previous listener. So it was he had a boy in class that he thought liked him and only showed him it through harassments and TikTok videos. So he says, I would still love to see Brian or his co-host back on the show. I think your guest episodes are golden, but I would love to see a few games played, maybe even if it's just something you do with a guest. We can do that. That's fine. I voted for you on the British Podcast Awards, so good luck. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. I'm trying to get myself in shape after years of neglecting my body. I started taking this tablet from the GP to help me with weight loss. It works pretty well, but you literally can shit yourself at any moment. I found myself stuck on a plane toilet for almost the entire 6-hour flight the past month, to the point when people had to ask me if I was okay. It's so embarrassing. I'm starting to think to come off the meds. What do you think? Have you had any close calls? It's not a nice feeling, I tell you. I've literally just spoke about 2 of them at the beginning.
Spoke about 2 of them at the beginning. You just had one now.
I just had one
Literally,
now. Yeah.
That's just been cut out of the episode.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, it's not good being unwell. If the meds are working, I would have stopped taking them a few days before my flight if I knew that they upset my stomach. To get them out at least out my system a little bit to do the flight, and then maybe started on them again. There's always side effects with tablets and things.
it's always risky, having new medication before you fly anywhere, especially if it's long haul. What if I've ever do you remember when I ended up on having stitches?
Yeah.
Before I flew away, I didn't take any of them tablets that were supposed to be anti-inflammatory and stuff like that because of all the side effects. As soon as I landed, I started taking the tablets. Purely because I didn't want to have a disaster on the plane. Because I know my stomach's not good at the best of times, let alone if I was to throw something in the mix that's never been in my body before.
Yeah, no, I'm the same. You could always go, but I would go back to my doctor and say, this is what's happening, and then maybe they can give you something different. I know though that obviously, if you're trying to lose weight, the best thing is to get everything out. So that's probably why they're doing their job, is because you're eating and then it's making you flush out your system, so you're not holding anything inside your body.
Yeah. Years ago, I got a prescription for, it used to be called alot, ALLI, which is
Right.
a weight loss tablet. And all it did was make me shit myself. That's literally all it did. And I was shitting out oil. It was it looked like oil. It was weird orangey colour.
Yeah.
And that's literally probably what this guy's on, but probably a stronger version nowadays. You can't take them tablets if you want to be doing anything travelling wise.
No, not at all. I think they're good starter things, so you can see you can get a bit of confidence with the weight loss, and you can start feeling good about yourself. And then I'd probably come off them. But like I said, go back to your doctor and tell them what's happening, and maybe they can prescribe you something else. So I've already spoke about close calls, but there's 3 main times in my life where the close call has come to an effect. So I'm going to give you one now. So I must have been, I don't know what, 20, 21 or something like that. All my mates were in uni. So I went to go visit one in Cambridge.
Right.
So from where we are in Luton, you have to get a bus to the next town over and then get the train from there to get to Cambridge. And I didn't know I had any intolerances at that point. So we'd gone out for a massive curry. And then
Curry's a bad idea anyway.
Yeah, and then I was getting a train back. So I'm so I'm on the way on the train, 40-minute train, half an hour in, I'm like, oh, I don't feel well here. I'm fine. I could have used. I don't need to use the train toilets because they're minging. I'll wait and I'll get off at the train station. Granted, by the way, this is 11 o'clock at night. It was like the last train. So I got off the train station and now I'm like, I need to go to the toilet. But now the toilets on the train station are locked because it's an open platform.
Yeah.
So I'm like, fuck. So I'm walking through this town. I'm like, there's a McDonald's. Walk to the McDonald's. It's closed because it's that time. They only let you go do the drive-through.
Right.
So I'm like, fucking hell. So I'm walking down this street to the point where, like, every time my stomach hurts, I have to stand still because if I move, I'm gonna go to the toilet. So I'm walking down this street, and it's quiet. I go over the roundabout, and I could still see it in my head. Fucking horrifying. And I go down this street, and to the side of me is like a church communal centre.
Okay.
And I've stopped, and I'm standing there.
You don't shit in the church, Dan, please.
And I'm like, I'm just standing there waiting for this pain to go. And I'm like, nah, it's not. So I jump over this wall and squat down next to someone's car. And I just fucking, and literally just like a second, like I literally squat down, boom, get up, and I start walking again. And you know, like you get that first initial like, and then like it comes back again. So I'm like, oh, so I ring my mum.
Yeah.
Obviously, I don't drive anything. So I've gone into this car park next to this car and done like horrifying. I'm walking down the street. I call my mum and I'm like, Mum, I'm about to tell you something and you can't tell anyone. And she's like, what's happened? And I'm like, my stomach's been really bad and I've just had to take a massive shit in a fucking church car park. You need to come pick me up. And she's like, what do you mean? And I'm like, I'm not saying it again. You just need to come get me. And she's like, okay. So this is like a 20-minute drive.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'll meet me here because I can't get on the fucking bus. Like, you know what I mean? So I'm continuing to walk down the road and there's like a big hill, like a field, and then like the woods on the side.
Yeah.
So I'm standing there waiting for her and I'm like pacing backwards and forwards trying to like stop this pain. And I'm like, nah, like it's happening again. So I went up into the woods and went again, ended up having to like leave my boxes in the fucking woods. It looked like a fucking tramp had gone to the toilet and then just discarded their boxes.
Oh, God.
And then I come down and Mum's waiting and she's got like fucking towels all over the seat. Like I was like, I haven't actually shit myself, Mum. I was like, I've been to the toilet. I just have done it outside like a heathen. She's like, I'm not getting anything on my seats. And then so I was so embarrassed and I drove home and I kept saying to her, don't tell anyone. I don't care now because I'm over 30. No one gives a fuck when they're over 30. And true to her, she actually never told anyone. Like no one knew until now.
Really?
I've just told the world.
You just told Sabina as well.
Yeah, but I told her this was coming.
Okay.
Yeah, and I went home and showered and everything, and Mum took my clothes and like washed them. There was nothing on them. I hadn't actually like blown out my pants.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, I'd used them to like wipe myself off. But
That's fucking diabolical. That dwarfs the story I had for this question. Completely dwarfs it.
Anyone that's got an intolerance has dealt with something like that. Like you got
At one
like
point.
because there's no accessible for things like that. Like what you're going to do at 11 o'clock? Like no one's going to let you in their house, especially in Luton.
No, of course not.
And who would you do that? Like I wouldn't knock on someone's door and be like, "I'm really sorry, can I blow out your toilet?"
Oh.
You know what I mean? But there's
Imagine
two
you get
others-
that knock. I'll be like,
Yeah,
what do you mean
exactly.
you
Yeah,
need to go
I'd
to
be like,
the
no,
toilet? I'll be like,
you're not
nah,
using my
bruh.
fucking.
You need to go down the road.
So there's two other stories that I'm going to save for a future, but that's one. Just let
The one story I have, which isn't actually, I've had so many close calls. Like I had a close call this week because obviously where I work. Yeah, I've had a few close calls. Even this week, because I work in a clean room, I'm wearing a full body suit, hair net, fucking beard net, fucking face mask. I'm wearing all kinds of shit. Yeah, none of which can leave the clean room, without an air shower. So I've got to come out, go through an air shower, and then go out into like the real world, and then get changed, and then obviously being in a clean room. You try to time your breaks and time your toilet times so basically what happened to me earlier in the week is I had my break, went back in, and then instantly all the food that I'd eaten, because I'd eaten some crap sandwich from the fucking hub, which is in the building, it's like our canteen.
Oh, canteen, yeah.
it was whatever was in it didn't agree with me. Yeah, so
Yeah.
I was like, as soon as I got in, I was like, I need to go to the toilet, and I was like, oh no, I'll do some work first, and then I'll go.
Yeah.
And I was standing there, I was working away, everything was fine, and then all of a sudden I needed a fart. I had a fart, and I was like, that felt dodgy as fuck. Yeah. And I was like, right, I need to go now. And then I went out the door, and then people were trying to talk to me in the corridor. And they're like, oh, so and so is talking about work. What's going on with this? What's going on with that? I'm like, yeah. I'll tell you in a minute. I kept going. Then I ran into my uncle. My uncle's trying to talk to me in the corridor. Oh, how are you getting on today and all this stuff? I was like, no, yeah, I'll see you in a minute. And it's like a fucking 10-minute walk to the toilet. And I'm like trying to do that without looking like I'm virtually shitting myself. I literally made it to the toilet. And do you know when you're like literally just, you get into the cubicle and you're already going?
Yeah.
Trousers are coming down and you're going everywhere. I was like, Jesus Christ. Shit everywhere.
We all know the pain. We all know the pain.
That was a close call, but there's one time back when the park used to be open. So this was about when me and you were friends, when we both like first met.
Mm-hmm.
There was a guy that we probably both knew maybe, and I went from the park to Yates's with him. No, to the Red Lion with him. So I walked up from we did park. What was opposite the park? It was a Weatherspoons, wasn't it?
It changed a few times, yeah, but I think it was, yeah.
It was a Weatherspoons, and then we walked up, and then on the same road, on the same side of the road as the park, there was like a block of buildings. I don't know whether it's flats or whatever it was. Opposite Yates's, on that roundabout, there was a big bush, and I remember walking up this fella, and he was like, "Oh, I'll be back in a minute. I'll be back in a minute." And I was like, okay. And he ran into that bush, and then come back out like 2 seconds later, and I was like, "Oh, did you need a piss?" He was like, Yeah. And we went into Yates's, and he stank of shit for the rest of the evening. And I was like, this geezer shat himself.
Fucking it. And then to keep going out, that's mental.
Yeah, and he carried on the whole night he was out with me. And I just remember every time he come near me and the girls were near me, I would like move around him so the girls would know it wasn't me that smelled shit.
Fuck's sake. Like, it
To this
happens,
day,
but
I think he thinks he got away with it, but he
just
didn't.
fucking just go home, man. Fuck's sake. Yeah, so hopefully that made you feel better. Get yourself down to the doctors and try and get that sorted out. And let us know how you get on. Yeah, right. So this is a previous listener. He's emailed in a lot. His original story was people at work was getting his name wrong.
Oh, okay.
So he said, just to let you know, I voted. You guys have helped me a lot about learning British culture and slang words. Your advice as well thought about, and I see you both as a breath of fresh air nowadays by both sticking to your principles and not judging others. Thanks very much, and thanks for the vote. We appreciate it. I'm currently going through a confusing situation at my local pub. There's a large group of people who I hang out with in the pub on the average weekend. We all get along, and this one guy and I get along well normally too. But as soon as there is a woman in the pub, he gets nasty with me, and I don't know what I'm doing wrong. He comments on me being from another country and my weight and the fact I have a big nose. He picks on me every now and then. It's not too often, and it's annoying and confuses me. What can I do? This pisses me off because I've been in this fucking situation, and we were friends at the same time.
Yeah.
So this is like, I don't know what you would call it, alphaism? Would that be the word?
Alpha male, trying to alpha male on people.
Yeah, so there's many forms of like picking up women and stuff like that, but one of the most annoying and what I think is fucking unattractive ways is that you put down all the other men around you to make you look like you're the most
Big
attractive. Man. Yeah, you're the most successful. You're the most, you know what I mean? And we had a guy like this in our group and he tried to. We were going out, and he tried to start me because he thought I was trying to sleep with his girlfriend. But he was the same. Like I had no problem with him whatsoever when we were with all guys. As soon as one fucking girl come out, that was it. He's got a fucking mouth on him, and there's no need for it. That's not. You shouldn't be putting other people down to make yourself look big. That's just your insecurities that you're trying to hide by making everyone else make them look like ugly or stupid and stuff like that. The best thing you could ever do is just get the fuck away from him. I don't care if he's a nice guy or he's never gonna. That's his way of picking up women, and it's bullshit.
Yeah, what I would say is get back with him, get back into the friendship with him once he's in an established relationship, because then you don't have to deal with that side of him.
Yeah. See, I just went the way of just not fucking dealing with him.
Yeah, it's difficult. With obviously when we're at our age now, you assume people are getting with girls for relationships, but save this listener's in his early 20s, that's just you're just on the dating scene. You're just doing whatever. It's going to be a continual thing for a few years.
But it feels really overcomplicated and it feels like personal, but it really isn't. It's that petty. That's all it is.
Yeah.
That's literally all it is. Such a stupid man trait, man. That just shows he's got no fucking game.
It's something that I've always hoped, because you know what I'm like. I banter people quite a bit. I always hope that I haven't done that in the past, but I don't know whether I have or not.
It's whether it's back and forth.
Yeah.
If you're jiving someone and they jive you back, there's equal playing fields. That's like wingman material, right? You've gone over and it shows you've got a bit of banter, you're a bit of a joke, your back and forth is really good. But if someone's oh, look at this guy's fucking nose, oh, he's from another fucking country, you can't even speak fucking English.
Yeah, it's borderline bullying, isn't it?
He's pointing out traits that he thinks would be women won't like.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's not alright, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree totally.
That whole thing of the Argus thing, if we did that in the pub, that's banter, right? You're
course,
you said Argus.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. So that's because there's no playing
malice
it up on
in
it. No, I'm playing it up because I think it's funny. Everyone else is laughing, that's fine. You know what I mean? But you could, no, it's fucking.
I don't like to see anyone get picked on, and I always would hope that I would be, if I was in that pub when I saw someone doing that to someone else, that I would. It gets me in trouble a lot, but I would end up saying something.
Yeah, especially if it's your friend group, I'd just be like, mate, shut up.
Yeah,
fucking.
He ain't done nothing to you. Just leave it alone.
Yeah. Or then I would, because this guy, there was a thing going around that because he was a big guy. When he had sex, he kept a t-shirt on. It was like a massive nightie because he didn't like his body.
Yeah.
So whenever he used to try and pick on anyone, I'd be like, mate, shut up your mouth and get your fucking tent out for later on. You know what I mean? No one wants to. So scared of them big old bitch titties, you had to go out and buy a fucking tent from the fucking Mountain Warehouse. I was like, that's the only way. Yeah, I was like, that's the only way you get a fucking t-shirt big enough to carry them fucking titties. And that would throw him back. Obviously, you've got to be well aware that you might get a fist come at you every now and again, because they're if you go back at them, and that's their only way of picking up women. Yeah, they're like that. But stay strong, man. He's just being petty, so I wouldn't worry about it. It's nothing to do with you.
It's false masculinity.
Yeah, he's not comfortable in his own skin, so he's trying to make himself look better by putting you down. So I wouldn't.
Yeah.
Like I said, I would personally just get away from him. But obviously, if he's tight within the friend group, I would just try and distance myself when there's women around, so he's not targeting the nearest person to him or something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just try.
He might. I know it sounds terrible, but he might see you as the easiest target in the group to go for.
Yeah, probably because you're nice. You don't want to upset anyone, so you just sort of take it and laugh it off. That's what it is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But stay strong, man. Stay strong. we're here. Just let us know what pub you're in, and we'll come back you up.
The old British Jamie Bulldog will come out.
Yeah. I won't even say anything because I'm just a miserable bastard anyway. I'll just sit there, just looking at him.
Just giving him the fucking eye.
Yeah. I'll bring the old autism out. The old autism will come out and he'll fucking shit himself. Right. So this listener says, I enjoyed the different genre of guests, but it was quite cringy when he sung, but his meaning behind the music needs some exposure, so good on you lads, well done. He kept looking like, but he's talking about Ben, our previous guest. Really nice.
Yeah.
Really nice bloke. And his message is really good. And Sabina said she cried when he sung, because obviously it's his message and that. But he did keep trying to keep eye contact with us while he was singing.
Yeah. Which was hard
Yeah.
to deal with.
It was. I will be leaving that in the YouTube when I finally go around to editing it. I'll have it so it's like it's just him on screen singing, and then as soon as he tries to make eye contact, I'll bring it back to one of us so you can see how uncomfortable we are. But no, we appreciate the guest. He approached us, and we were happy to have him on. So no, it was
I think
good.
he gave very good advice, and
Yeah.
like I'm not a musical person at all, and his song was good. It had a good message behind it.
No, I'm happy with it.
Yeah.
Right, so he says, I do enjoy the show and have been for a while now. My question to you gents is, I put my knee out of joint about 2 years ago, and I forget every time I have sex with a new girl I'm with. I perform like a Formula One car for about 7 minutes, and then I'm crippled for about 3 days. That's just old age, mate. I keep avoiding multiple meetups within a week period, and it's starting to affect the relationship because she thinks I'm too busy or I'm not bothered. But at 22, it's so embarrassing to say I'm that unfit and haven't done anything with the injury.
22.
But now it's affecting my life with a girl I like. What do you think I can do short of owning up to my total cuck? What can I say about my performance levels and getting around it? If you're 22 and you've had an injury, you need to sort that out.
Yeah, if it's like a sporting injury, you need to go to like a fucking doctor or something.
That's just way of life. That's nothing to do with sex. That's just like, you know what I mean?
When you said 22, I was pretty shocked there.
Yeah. Because I'm pretty like if it's been a wild one, I'm pretty fucked. But I don't give a fuck, so I just say it. I'm not embarrassed about it. If I've done a good job, and then they're like, let's go again, I'm like, no. I was like, you can be happy with that because I'm happy with it, and we'll do it again later on. You know what I mean? I'm at that age now where I'm like, you know, if I've put in a good job, you can wait and let me recover. Why you? If you watched 2 Pints, haven't you? 2 Pints Lager Packet, Chris.
Yeah.
There's this amazing scene. I can't remember what season it is. But the annoying woman, I think her name was Louise, she meets this guy, and he's like a university student, and she sleeps with him, and he fucking rows the shit out of her, right? And then she's talking to her girl mates, and she's like, oh, I kept orgasming. I was so bored of orgasm all the time, and they're all going, oh, you should enjoy it, like, that never lasts, and all this sort of stuff, like, because she's, like, really annoyed, but they're like, oh, I love it. So the next day, she like gets in bed with him, like literally the next night, and they have sex. And then he goes over and he goes, "I'll see you. Good night." And she goes, "Hang on a minute, where's the rest of it?" And he's like, "What?" And she's like yesterday, like you were going for hours." And he goes, "No." He's like, every guy on the first night overperforms in case like it doesn't happen again or anything like that. Like that's their show off performance. He's like, I've still got rug burn down there from last night. He goes, that's what you're getting tonight. And then he goes to sleep. And I'm like, that's so perfect for every situation a guy goes through on the first time.
100%. 100%.
Yeah, the first time is always, because if you don't talk to them and they go back to their girl mates, there's no question in your mind that they're going to say you did a good job. So you always overperform.
I've had first like times with a girl that I really liked. Not like it doesn't really matter with like one night stands, but a girl that I really liked, and I've absolutely ripped my fucking foreskin to shreds.
Yeah.
Absolutely going for it,
Yeah.
and I'm in pain for the whole week because like whole mess, and to think that she can want that the next day. That's like I do feel for this guy.
Yeah.
Because he's doing what I used to do. I used to avoid them for like 4 days to let myself recover.
But that's just what guys go, because I'm not like, women do stuff as well. I'm not saying, but like it's sort of like there's a lot of like hip motion and things like that, and like the girl's either like on her back, and like most she does when she's on the top, that's all her. But guys like to be on top because they've got all the control then. So it's like. But I'll give you this, right? I have only just started using vibrating cock rings.
Okay.
Best fucking thing. Best ever invention ever. I wish I'd been using them like my whole fucking life. Because like, if it's been a while or you're too into it and your head's going and you're about to fucking pop your cap, you can stop, but it's still vibrating. Because that was the thing, right? You're like, oh, if I get overstimulated, I've got to stop. But then she knows that I'm about to...
Yeah.
But because it's vibrating, you can do a little thing where you stop and you just push it so it vibrates, and then you get a couple seconds to like recoup.
Oh, so it gives you like a little breather.
Yeah, and it looks like you're trying to like vibrate on them to give them, but you're like, whew, like come on, calm down, and then you can get going again. Fucking best.
Starting to get
ever.
insight in your sex life, Dan. The amount of sex toys that you've described since you've been with...
No, I'm just adventurous. Well, no, I don't know what I am. I just like it. But no, it's so good, so good. So that, like, if you want anything, like, buy one of them, and then you don't need to do 7 minutes of Formula One. You know what I mean? You can just fucking, and then obviously there's like foreplay and stuff like that. That everyone, you know what I mean?
Speaking to and seeing a lot of podcasts and that involve like porn stars and a lot of women in general, 7 minutes of going at it is a good amount of minutes. Like in movies, they make out as though it should be hours.
Yeah,
it's never going to be hours. Like I think a 20-minute session, including foreplay, is like pretty average.
I think isn't it like 5 minutes
for that?
Isn't it not 5 minutes? Is like the average, like a guy can go continuously or something.
Yeah. But if you include foreplay and doing everything that you should be doing, it should be like 15 to 20 minutes. A lot of guys just jump in. This, like, I've said it on a previous podcast. Some guys just jump in, no foreplay whatsoever, and just fucking jump straight into it, and then expect them to be like amazed by their skills, as though they're fucking like #1 porn star.
Yeah, I know.
Like,
it's all
foreplay. Foreplay is like 95% of the job.
Yeah.
Johnny Sims.
Right, so...
That's it. Johnny Sims. Everyone thinks they're Johnny Sims, and they can go for 25 minutes just pounding away like a fucking good un, because they think porn is real. Porn is not real.
No.
It is not real.
So it says, during sexual intercourse, most men ejaculate between 5 to 10 minutes, and research has shown that the average time of ejaculation after penetration is 5.5 minutes. Usually, ejaculation less than 1 to 11... Less than 1 minute is regarded as premature ejaculation. Sometimes it just happens, you know what I mean? You just can't get away from it.
Well, it depends. For me, it depends how long it's been and stuff.
Yeah. Like,
if how worked up I am.
If I've been, like, flirting all day, and I'm all, like, bent up, I'll be like, fucking, done.
Yeah, but then there's always a round two as well. When I always think there's a round two when I'm that worked up.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. But I've got to the point I don't care. Yeah, I mean, back in the day, I was really fixated on like how long and stuff like that. And
I
now
think
I'm
it
just
is a
sort of
younger
like,
thing.
yeah, because no one wants to be taking the piss out of. No one wants to hear like things behind their back.
But you could
Where
last like this is an honest I don't know what the word is. Honest opinion. You could last an hour every time with a girl. You split up with her, she'll tell you
you
that
lost,
you lost 3 seconds.
Oh,
and your
well, there's
dick's
that.
tiny.
So yeah. Oh yeah.
So I wouldn't even be concerned with it.
Do you remember there's a guy who we used to talk to, and he was like, I was going at it for like 45 minutes. 45 minutes, and I'm like, that poor fucking woman. Like, you imagine just laying on her back
In one position.
for 45 minutes. Just she would have to get a fucking spray bottle and just try and spray between them like, as he's going.
Do you know them bottles people get to spray their internal flowers? Do you know, like the ones inside the house?
Yeah,
She's just spraying that down there, just spraying lube on herself.
just because of the friction after like 45 minutes. Like, has he done yet? I mean, come on.
I remember him saying that with a serious face, and me and you looking at each other, just like, what the fuck?
I think it's fucking brilliant.
And I was like, one position. He was like, yeah, one position. Why would I do more than one position within the 45? And I was like, bro, 45, I've already ordered the dinner.
He would have had like a fucking gazillion pack after that.
Oh,
Going out for 45 minutes. That's like a gym workout.
That's the same geezer, yeah. That's the same geezer that told me he slept with a mother and a daughter within 24 hours of each other. And I was just like, no.
You know what I mean? All right, James
Can't
Bond.
happen.
Yeah, if you really like the girl that you said about, then it's best to be honest and just say, you know, I've hurt my leg and we were going at it, blah, because you don't want to start off lying. We always say communication and stuff like that. And it shows more about you being comfortable with yourself and stuff like that. Obviously, it's completely okay if you're not, because you don't want to show that sort of side of you right away. So we've given you a few options.
I think at 22 as well, she's not going to judge you too much for having an
No.
injury.
But I mean, get it sorted, man. Come on. Like, just a way of, like, it must hurt you all the time, even before sex.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But good luck. And if you use a vibrating cock ring, man, just drop me a message, see what you think about it. So the last email. Hey boys, I voted. Thank you very much. I hope you get the award. It would be amazing to see you get some recognition for your work. Yeah, us too. I tell you, man, that would be a close call. I would actually shit my pants if we had an email about.
Mate, if we even just get invited because we had enough nominees to actually get there,
Yeah.
like enough votes to actually get there, I'd be so
I'd call sick. I'd call this work sick. I'd be like, and then they'll see me on the telly. Do you see that woman that went to a festival and she had a bag on her head?
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, that would be if I was 20.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. I remember calling in sick to the co-op to go see Rambo.
Oh, really?
Yeah, one of the Rambo movies came out. Calling in sick.
Brilliant.
I've just joined a waiting list as a single male for the local swingers for a month now, and I've finally got the call up, and I'm nervous. I've always been intrigued by the culture, but still feel unsure about having sex in front of people, especially the spouse of a person I'm sleeping with. Has it ever been something you have exposed or thought of exploring? Do you know anyone in the lifestyle that would have some advice? Man, we've spoke about, I would have like, no. It's a sharing thing as well. It's not just the people watching, it's the, once you've slept with them, someone else is going to sleep. I'm like, no, I've just, no, what? You know what I mean?
I would have to be single and not really care about the girl that I've brought there.
Well, no, I think he's single, so he's going to go on his own. It's not.
That explains the waiting list. Because I was thinking waiting list.
Yeah, because he hasn't got a partner or anything like that.
If I was him, if I was a single guy, I would go for it. Just
Oh,
go for it.
absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
just jump in, see what it's like. What's stopping you? Nothing. You've got no ties.
No.
They are people that are already probably like fully integrated into that system, so you're almost a sex toy to them. So I would take advantage of that.
Right. So I'm just doing some quick Googling.
I know a female single woman is called a unicorn because they're so rare, but I know male single people don't really get accepted, so it's a pretty high thing to get accepted into a swingers club.
I think it'd be quite interesting. I know that they always say if it's your first time, you don't have to do anything. Like, you can go in and have a drink and, like, meet the people and stuff. You're not... Because it's very
Or just
open.
go and stand there and watch them while drinking a
Yeah,
Bacardi
and,
Coke.
like, people have, like, drinks and you can just... You know what I mean? It's like dogging, but you're in a safe... Because it's not like... You're not going and you have to do anything. That's the whole point in it, is that everyone's there for the same sort of thing and you can just go to be there. You know what I mean? So I found this thing that says the 7 golden rules for the modern day swinger. Number 1, do not ask if you are better in bed than the spouse or partner. I never would have thought that, but that is definitely something was funny. I'd be like, am I better than him?
While
yeah.
he's sitting there on the chair.
Yeah, while he's there, while he's getting his
Fuck
dick sucked
me.
or something. Right, so don't do that. Do not talk about their spouse or partner. These are all really obvious things that I never like, because that's a modern day conversation, isn't it? Oh, who are you here with? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I probably would ask who they're here with. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So just try and keep it. Do not complain about your own spouse or partner, especially with reference to his or her prowesses in the bedroom. Fair point. Make sure you have washed beforehand. Obviously.
Obvious, please.
Well, I say the obvious, but I can imagine.
Some guys are dirty dogs.
Matching bra and pants is not necessary, and might even suggest that you are taking all this just a bit too seriously. I'm not going to go with unmatched. If I was a woman, like...
You going in full... I would go in full lingerie. Would
Yeah.
you not?
Yeah, exactly. Don't go on at it forever. The vibe is more Benny Hill, like epic sex marathon. You don't want your respective partners downstairs in the living room sitting in embarrassment silence while you're still moaning and banging about it 3 hours later. So yeah,
So they're
just
saying
like-
don't get too attached.
yeah, just do it and leave, and that's it. You know what I mean? Don't insist on swinging with a couple if your partner does not fancy this as his or her potential swingee. This is about equality and fun. You're at the moment to have a good time. Oh, so don't try and force
If you
partners
fancy
to each
one,
other.
don't fancy the other.
Yeah. I was just sitting reading a few other things. There was one that I thought was quite interesting that I didn't. So it said, be ready for rejection. Because
What, from other...
yeah, because obviously you're not going just for a free for all. So you are going to get you're going to suggest to someone about doing stuff and they're not going to be interested. So don't take it personally.
Do you know what? I never thought about that side of it.
No, I didn't. When I saw that, I was like, oh, that's a really good point. Because people would go and they automatically assume, because it's not a bunch of freaks.
You assume everyone will sleep with you.
Yeah, but it's not. That's what I mean. It's not like that. It's a group of people that are in relationships for a single that don't believe in. They want to experience other people, but you're still going to have sexual attraction. You're not. It's not just I'm going to fuck anyone that walks in front of me. That's why I said people go and they don't necessarily have sex straight away, because some people like to talk to. They get connections and blah 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 blah. So you're going to get people that say no thanks, and it's not a. You shouldn't take it to heart. It's not a massive, stab in the back. So I thought that was quite an interesting.
That is interesting, yeah, because I think for me personally, firstly, I wouldn't be able to watch Charlotte sleep with anyone.
No.
Secondly, I wouldn't be able to get with like some fucking like 60-year-old fucking ragtag fucking been through the wash.
But that's what I mean, though. That's you have the absolute option to
That's
say.
a preference.
Yeah, you say, "Oh no, it's okay. Thank you for it. It's appreciated." But
And I would go in there and someone wanted a bearded, tattooed, overweight fucking...
yeah, you just gotta understand. I could, if I wasn't with Sabina and I got to, I could absolutely do it.
As a single man, I would fucking go for it. I wouldn't give a fuck, mate.
No, I would quite happily fucking sit in a room. Like I'll be that guy in the corner, beer in one hand, just surveying the room, looking at what's happening, seeing bums bounce up and down in the airs, sipping my beer, my cider. You know what I mean? Quite happy as Larry.
I can imagine you running over and just going, do you know, like how kids do where they just jump in a ball pit?
Yeah.
He'd be like,
Like
hey
as a-
guys, I'm coming! Wah! And just
Or
jump
like-
on top of him.
Or like when someone's standing at the pick a mix and they're like, "Oh, which one shall I have?" Or and then taking a bite of one and then being like, "Oh, I like that one," and carrying on. Sick bastard. But yeah, let us know how you get on and if any of those rules, because I'm getting them off the internet. They sound they're pretty obvious. Like they were obvious, but something I'd never thought of.
Swingers have come up quite a few times in our podcast, so it'd be nice to know if we have a swinging
You get
listener
first hand.
that can let us into the world ever so slightly.
Yeah, and I'm quite happy to do a. You can invite me along. I won't do anything because obviously I've got Sabina, but I'll, you know, what I mean, I'll ask some questions, bring it back to the podcast. I'm quite happy to fucking do some research.
Filming.
There's no way. There's no way. Even if I was like, "Ooh, I got this interesting email for an invitation from the podcast," there's no way she would let me go, and I wouldn't expect her to either. That was a complete. I wouldn't let her go. You know what I mean?
No, same with Charlotte. If I said to Charlotte, "Oh, I've been invited to a swingers club for a podcast thing," she'd be like, "What?"
Yeah, not a fucking chance, son.
Yeah, she'd be like, "You ain't going nowhere."
That's if you haven't got a fork in your leg already.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean-
exactly.
Nah. Yeah. Unless you want to invite us to like a pub with some of the people, and then I can ask them questions when they've all got their clothes on. I'm
Yeah,
happy to do that.
outside. Yeah, outside
Yeah.
of the situation.
Yeah.
That's a different situation. Yeah.
But no, enjoy yourself. Let us know how it goes. Like I said, there's no pressure in these. Like the people, from what I understand, are like lovely people. They're like all there to have a good time, and experience things together. So I wouldn't worry about it too much. I'm sure there'll be people there that help you get through your first time, and then you'll be well away.
And there's a reason that you've made it through the waiting list. As
Yeah,
well.
absolutely. So and make sure to wash them balls.
100%. Do not go in a dirty dog.
Yeah.
Ever since we had that email that's called you a dirty dog, Dan, I've referenced dirty dog so many times. It's become part of my vocabulary.
I don't mind that. I'm a dirty dog. But yeah, we're not sending no hopers to these things with unwashed balls, so get them done. and if you're feeling adventurous, do a little shaving pattern down there to make yourself look.
Like an
'Cause women
upside-down cross to
bejazzle
make
down
yourself
there.
look like a nutcase.
Get yourself one of those boxes that like cradles your nut, and you know what I mean, get you like the big bulge going on. You'll be all right. But no, have fun, man, and that's it, Jamie. That's these episodes are getting longer. I think we're getting more. It's funny because like I look at the time, how long we've been going, but I still think to myself like I'm not going to rush an email.
Yeah, we never
I
want to
mean,
rush an email, really.
No, and I mean I'm happy with like over 2 hours is fine. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
we-
and I think if we'd had like some emails saying, "Oh, the episode is getting too long," then it might feel different. But at this point,
No.
it's like natural, isn't it?
Yeah. We're just having a conversation, and you know what I mean. Sometimes when like I'm listening to a podcast and people are having a good conversation, I'm like, they're restricting it now because they've got a certain time frame.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm like, no, I want fucking don't move on, keep going.
See, that's what could happen when producers start getting involved and stuff like that. Because at the minute, I am the only producer for this.
Oh, are you? You're giving yourself that title, yeah?
Yeah, for the audio side of it, I'm the only producer. I'm the only one doing the cuts and stuff.
Yeah.
I leave 95% in.
Yeah, it's only like toilet breaks.
I only cut toilet breaks and like the annoying like. I do a lot of like sniffing, heavy breathing for no reason when you're fucking talking.
And I burp a lot.
Stuff like that. You burp a lot. Come on.
If anything, you told me that, it makes me like burping even more.
Now I've told you it, you burp away from the mic, which when we're actually recording, it's like I can't hear it, but then when I'm editing, I can fucking hear it. Another thing, which is a fucking bane of my life, is Rocco barking.
I just leave that in. 'Cause it's different when you do like the visual side. Like you can see like people's facial reactions.
Yeah.
So sometimes I leave it in because I'm like smirking and you're like looking really frustrated. So I'm like, fuck it, I'll just leave that in. I think that's funny. But I get from like the audio, you do really well. Like sometimes, like when we're talking like this and that, I just think like we're having a conversation. It doesn't sound any different. And then when I listen back to the actual episode, it sounds obviously like it's layered better. And I showed Mum that bit about the Argus and that, and I was like, oh, this sounds like a proper.
Yeah, because it's like cut together.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it makes sense, because me and you can leave quite big gaps between answering each other. And it's not, it's just a natural gap. But sometimes when you're listening to it audio-wise, it doesn't sound natural. It sounds like you're leaving it for ages.
Yeah,
Like
I do
we're
the
thinking what to
same
say.
with the stories. Sometimes, like, I'm taking a breather, or I'm like trying to leave a gap for it, and I think to myself, "No, that's too long now." I've like, it's like I've sat there. But anyway, man, we just keep rambling. This is all. This is going to like a Patreon episode. It's like. Do you like us talking bollocks for no fucking reason? Well, here's another 30 minutes onto that last episode that we cut.
That's very true. That's very true. And on that note, we'll end it there. And I think what Dan said is very true. We've had a lot of tangents in this episode. We started on a tangent, we carried on the tangent, and we ended on the tangent. So I think that should be the reference for this episode. Fuck Just Stop Oil.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck all the oppressive bullshit that's going on. And enjoy your lives, people. But if you have any issues, if you have any content ideas, and if you have any feedback, send it into twomennohope@gmail.com. And I'll be seeing you on Monday, Dan.
Yeah, man. Monday as always. Have a good weekend, man.